There we go. The Top 40 Timeline video show where we have fun with music and fun stories and
Leah's trivia.
Leah's trivia is the most important part.
Yes.
I'm Big Daddy, and this is Leah
Lywood.
And
I'm Lee Lakin.
there you go. And we're brought to you this week by Seabird Radio in the UK, and they have the Top 40 Timeline show on every Thursday. I believe it's 6 o'clock UK time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern, and 10 a.m. Pacific time. Now, Seabird Radio offers a wide mix of music shows presented by some of the basic radio presenters and the best radio presenters who love the genre of music they choose to broadcast. Like in our show, it's oldies, classic hits, you know, everything from the 50s to today. And Seabird Radio broadcasts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, streaming music online for free. The radio station can be heard and listened to on multiple platforms online via Google Music app and the Apple Music app. And Seabird Radio is always looking for potential future presenters. And it's a whole new world. People say that radio is dying. It's not dying. It's morphing into online.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be starting something on my own in a few weeks where I'll be delivering news and sports 7 days a week to all kinds of radio stations around the world. Of course, I'm going to get paid for it.
Even better.
And and the thing about online radio is it's a labor of love to many people who are in the business, who know what they're doing, have great shows, and they're not getting paid for it, which I think is so wrong, and it has to change.
It's almost like the musicians back in the 60s. They got a couple of bucks, and all the people that were putting the music out for them and the managers were walking around with the big pocketbooks.
And the big Cadillac.
If you want to check out, and hello to Paul Thomas, my friend in the UK who runs Seabird Radio, and if you want to check him out, it's seabirdradio.co.uk, one of our affiliates on the Top 40 Timeline radio show. So there you go. I've got my meme, and then Lee's story, of course, is about a chicken in Mexico. And we tried to get the chicken jingle singers in here, but they were too busy.
They're busy.
They're busy tonight. And here's the meme of the week. I went to the psychiatrist today. She told me I had a split personality and charged me $160. I gave her $80 and told her to get the rest from the other idiot. But that's excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. Fred Waterer, I believe, in St. Catharines sent us that on the show. And here's Lee's story of the week, which is involving a chicken and Mexico City in the subway.
And a train.
On a train.
So the commuter trains were temporarily delayed in Mexico when a chicken was spotted running across the tracks at a subway station. The Metro Collective Transport System of Mexico said the power to the tracks was cut off while the chicken was seen running on the tracks on the Line 9 Medical Center station. Transport workers and civil protection personnel were caught on video going down the tracks to try and rescue the bird. And it shows the chicken's pursuers unsuccessfully attempting to trap the chicken with clothing items from a few times before finally getting a hold of the land fowl. The chicken was removed from the station and service was resumed once again. Remember to protect your belongings as well as your, as you use transporter to transport pets and avoid incidents. Transport officials tweeted that. And because, you could have been a fried chicken pretty quickly.
Yeah, pretty quickly. It's amazing what people do for animals.
But you imagine going to work saying, no, boss, I was late because there was a chicken on the tracks.
Yeah.
Here, it's a Canadian goose.
Yeah.
And we, here in our hometown here in Canada, we had a bear, a black bear wandering around our local grocery store.
Just visiting.
And, in Georgetown South there.
Wanted to go to Metro for something.
I mean, animals always will take you by surprise. There's no doubt about that. Now, Leah's Trivia.
Here we go.
Led off by Leah this week, of course, as always.
So here we go. Here's another Keith Richards. There's a couple, there'll be a couple in this one that I found that were kind of funny, like usual. 1976, when Keith Richards arrived 2.5 hours late for a UK court appearance on drug and driving charges. Shocking. He blamed his late arrival on the fact that his trousers had not been returned from the cleaners on time for a court date.
At least it wasn't a chicken. At least it wasn't a chicken making him late.
And then 1983, Bob Dylan was quoted, "The sound of my own voice, I just can't get used to it, never have. Makes you want to hide."
Yeah, it makes me want to hide with some of his songs, I must admit. Yeah, great songwriter.
I love Bob Dylan, but
yeah, you
sometimes
gotta- I
some
mean,
of it's a little monotony, right?
Yeah. I mean, Lady Leah, you did a nice job on.
Yeah.
He could
Yeah.
do that, but some of his earlier stuff was. Oh, God. Where are we going? We'll go to Lee. 'Cause I talked a lot at the beginning.
1962, back to the Rolling Stones. Once again, Mick Jagger is mentioned in print for the first time when British music magazine Disc prints this item. A 19-year-old Dartford rhythm and blues singer, Mick Jagger, has joined Alexis Corner's group. Alexis Corner's group Blues Inc. and will sing with them regularly on Saturday night dates at Ealing and Thursday sessions at the Marquee Jazz Club in London. Jagger at present was completing a course at the London School of Economics, and he also plays harmonica.
That's how the Stones began.
Yes, pretty much.
1966. Am I doing that, or you?
Yep.
you
No, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. 1966, 16-year-old Bruce Springsteen records for the first time when his band The Castiles cut 2 songs, Baby I and That's What You Get, at a studio in the Brick Mall Shopping Center in New Jersey. And Springsteen actually wrote both the songs, and which later emerged on bootlegs, and his bandmate was George Theus. And in 1973, Paul Simon released the single Kodachrome, named after the Kodak 35mm film Kodachrome, which became a #2 hit in the U.S. It was not released as a single in Britain because the BBC would not play the trademarked name.
Go figure, the BBC wouldn't do that.
Well, they wouldn't play Monster Mash. Can you believe that?
I was playing that
There's
today.
so many
I
things
know.
they
I was
did
playing
that
that
was
today.
brutal.
1976, I'll do one more. Rolling Stone Keith Richards crashed his car near Newport Pagnell, Buckinghamshire, after falling asleep at the wheel. Apparently, marijuana and cocaine were found by the police, resulting in another fine for the guitarist. And marijuana, so he's probably into the indica stuff. And nodded off.
Nodded off.
There you go. Wow.
Should have had sativa.
What's going on with the wheat titbits, Lee?
So, here,
Leah, pardon me.
it's
I'll
okay.
be all right.
Same pile.
Yeah. I almost made
The
it.
first issue of Rolling Stone magazine, published in San Francisco in 1967, came with a free roach clip to hold a marijuana joint.
Excellent.
And then I'll do the next one. Chris Martin of Coldplay was quoted, "In my mind, when God made woman, he did an amazing job. I think girls are just perfect."
Well, they are. They are.
That's still up for debate.
Let me just finish off that.
I might as well do that.
1993, Courtney Love was quoted, "I am not the Yoko Ono of Nirvana." I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, no, Nirvana didn't break up because of anything other than Cobain died, so...
But she's nowhere like Yoko Ono
Oh, God,
either.
no.
They're totally
Mind
opposite
you,
ends of the
mind you,
spectrum.
I saw her in that Larry, what was it? The guy who did Hustler magazine. Larry Flint. Larry Flint movie?
Flynn, isn't it? Larry
Flint.
Flint? Is Flint?
Flint.
Flint?
Yeah, Larry Flint. And she did a good job in that, but she was playing a cokehead, like a drug addict.
Natural.
So I don't think there was a lot of acting going on there, but...
Good for her.
1967, the Beatles were selected to represent the UK for the first ever global-wide satellite broadcast. The group agreed to be shown in the studio, recording a song written especially for the occasion. Scheduled for June 25th, John Lennon wrote "All You Need Is Love," which was thought to sum up the '67 summer of love and the Beatles' sympathies. With the satellite broadcast being broadcast to many non-English speaking countries, the BBC asked the Beatles to keep it simple. And "All You Need Is Love" is a really simple song.
I was going to say, there's nothing
Like-
difficult about that song.
Hello, like
But it's a beautiful song.
oh,
It is.
Gorgeous tune. Gorgeous
It
tune.
is.
One of my favorite songs by the Beatles is "Here Comes the Sun." I just
Yeah.
love that
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
1968, the first Miami pop event took place with an estimated 100,000 people attending the concert, which was promoted by Richard O'Barry and Michael Lang, later famous as the promoter of Woodstock, of course. And bands featured at the festival included Steppenwolf, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, the Mothers of Invention, Blue Cheer, Chuck Berry, the Blues Image, Pacific Gas and Electric, Three Dog Night, and the Crazy World of Arthur Brown.
Haven't
And
heard
in
those in a long time. So.
Yeah.
And in 1975, the Bay City Rollers appear at BBC Radio Fun Day at the Mallory Park Racetrack in Leicestershire, England. where they are set to perform on an island in the middle of a lake. When throngs of fans try to swim to the rollers, mayhem ensues and never get to perform.
Well, and there's images. You can see them. They're in this little motorboat, like a skiing motorboat. Right?
I haven't heard that story before.
And they're actually sitting in this boat, the whole band, and you can see all the people coming up, swimming up to the boat. They're like, what? Whoa, guys, whoa.
I remember I was downtown in summer of 1976 when Chum brought the Bay City Rollers to Toronto. You've never seen so many screaming gals in your life.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of the Beatles. Well, not that I was around for the Beatles. I was 4 or 5 years old, but the videos of the Beatle fans, and it reminded me of that. And a lot of people thought that they were going to go a lot further than they did.
They were like 80s music. It kind of
yeah. I mean, and a lot of people love the Rollers. I mean, as a radio announcer and a music guy, I like their stuff. I mean,
I didn't mind their stuff, but as a woman, I didn't get the flock to the Bay City Rollers. It just, I would go to David Cassidy before I would go to the Bay City Rollers.
Yeah, as my ex-wife once said, I wish they'd put the Partridge Family in that bus and push them off the edge of a cliff.
Oh no, I didn't mind them. Like I said, if I had a choice, it would not be the Bay City Rollers. I think amongst anybody. Anyways,
nothing against the Partridge Family, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
I had a Partridge Family lunchbox. I paid for it every time I went to school.
Yeah.
1992, Sister Souljah, a rapper associated with the group Public Enemy, is quoted in the Washington Post saying, "If black people kill black people every day, why not have a week and kill white people?" It becomes a big moment in American politics when Bill Clinton denounces the comment, risking support from black voters. Clinton goes on to win the presidential election.
I actually like Clinton. Another tidbit here. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, obviously, contains the famous Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, let me go. Well, that line in January 1976, it was knocked off the #1 position by the UK chart by ABBA's Mamma Mia.
Isn't that amazing? I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
What about the irony on that, eh?
Yeah, a lot of irony to that.
Yeah, like tons of it. Another one here. David Bowie was quoted, "Don't you love the Oxford Dictionary? When I first read it, I thought I was a really, really long poem about everything."
Oh, he was smoking some good weed that night when he said that. I'll tell you
Maybe
that.
a little mushroom or two.
That's some deep thinking
That's
stuff.
deep
Like
thoughts,
deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts. Ah, folks. All right, a little bit of history here. 1963, it's the very first Monterey Folk Festival featuring Bob Dylan, Pete Seeger, Peter, Paul and Mary, and Joan Baez.
What a combination, eh?
Wow, what a
Can you
1,
imagine
2, 3,
watching
4
that?
punch.
Oh.
And in 1965, the FBI ends its 2-year investigation into the Kingsman song Louie Louie, determining that the largely indecipherable lyrics are not obscene. And I remember trying until my ears bled and I couldn't hear it. Did you hear it?
Never.
No, and the thing is, but if you read them, if you actually read the lyrics,
Yeah.
there is some kind of X-rated stuff in it back then
Well, back then,
to what we would do now.
I might as well do the Bob Dylan because there's 2 real short ones there.
Yep.
1966, Bob Dylan, who had recently gone electric and added rock and roll instruments to his folk music, appears at the Free Trade Hall in Manchester, England. Just before he begins a version of his latest hit, Like a Rolling Stone, a member of the audience, a folk purist angry at the move to rock, shouts out, "Judas!" And Dylan responds, "I don't believe you," adding, "You're a liar." He then proceeds to tell the band to play the song fucking loud. And in 1969, at a shipyard in South Bristol, Maine, Pete Seeger launches the Clearwater, a sloop that he sails to push for clean water initiatives, specifically in his beloved Hudson River. And Don McLean is the one of the original crew members in that. So that full 1966 and 69 there. What's going on in 1989?
1989, the Rolling Stones bassist Bill Wyman opens the Sticky Fingers restaurant in West London. Guests with big appetites can order the Beggar's Banquet. 1995, Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, and Little Richard share the stage for the first time ever at a concert in Sheffield, England. I'm sitting at about 15 minutes too.
Oh, that's all right.
Here you go.
Yeah, do another one.
Led Zeppelin made only one UK TV appearance, the BBC show How Late It Is. 1969. The clip has since been lost.
From the BBC.
The only one they were ever on.
I remember Kenny
there
Evers.
was a decent amount of footage of Led Zeppelin, but there wasn't a lot, really.
Not TV and stuff like that. It was
right?
not.
2006,
prominent.
Stephen Morrissey of the Smiths was quoted, "I'd rather eat my own
this.
testicles than reform the Smiths." And
I don't think
understand
he's gonna
the Smiths
do
bass
it.
player just passed away, as a matter of fact.
That's right, he did.
Yeah,
I saw
right.
that today, I think it was.
I like some of their music.
I'll do one more. 1767, when I was born.
Well, it was Russ's birthday.
Yeah, a piano was played for the first time in public in the UK in a playbill for performance of the Beggar's Opera at the Covent Garden Theatre in London. It's announced Miss Brickler sings accompanied by Mr. Dibdin, I guess, on a new instrument called the pianoforte.
Dibdin.
There you go. You wouldn't have had Elton John without that happening, would you?
Or
Jerry
Liberace.
Lee, or Liberace, or Jerry
Which is next,
Lee,
1919. That's when Liberace was born.
1919, Liberace born
In West Allis, Wisconsin, along with a twin who dies at birth.
Right.
Lazzu Valentino Liberace.
I'm glad you could say that because him and I would have murdered that.
That's why I didn't do it.
That's why I said it, because he went right past it. I'll bring it in.
Fuck it.
1969, The Who and the set at the Fillmore East in New York. A plainclothes policeman rushes the stage to tell the audience that a fire had broken out, but guitarist Pete Townsend figured him for a rabid fan, and he kicks him off.
Rabid.
Literally, the guitarist is arrested off stage and later charged $30. But I don't think Pete knew what was going on.
Well, he thought it was a fan. He thought it was somebody charging the
He's in
stage.
plain clothes.
That's right. So why did he even get arrested with that?
And it's not like it didn't happen normally.
Well, yeah, that happens all the time.
Back then, especially, right?
And 1978, Joe Walsh releases his fourth album, but seriously, folks, great album, by the way, when he indulges in an underwater meal in the artwork. And the album contains Life's Been Good, which was one of my all-time favorite songs, a parody of Rockstar Excess that becomes Walsh's theme song when he starts living that lifestyle, of course. As a member of the Eagles and a successful solo act, all manner of debauchery is available to him, and he takes it. And by 1995, after years of alcohol abuse, he begins singing not about his drunken exploits, but about his recovery, as heard on the track One Day at a Time. The Water Recover Arts and the Gatefold photo requires Walsh to pose at the bottom of a pool, as photo editing software didn't exist. So, shot by Laurie Sullivan, Walsh appears holding his breath while his table
That'd be
awaits.
something, you know. When you see that photo, he's actually sitting on the bottom of a pool in a chair beside a table, and it's actually sitting there. It's not Photoshop.
Yeah,
It's like,
well, not photoshopping back then.
I wonder how many takes that took.
Yeah. We doing this in one.
Yeah, that's it. So, Jimi Hendrix claimed Purple Haze was inspired by a dream where he was walking under the sea. In the dream, he said a purple haze surrounded him, engulfed him, and got him lost. But in his dream, his faith in Jesus saved him. At one point, Hendrix wrote the chorus as Purple Haze, Jesus saves, but decided against it.
That's probably a good idea.
I'm thinking maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
2003, Madonna was quoted, "I was a buffoon and an idiot until the age of 40. I don't think that's changed. 1957, Elvis Presley inhales the cap from one of his teeth and is taken to LA hospital to have it removed from his lung. Of all fucking places. Like, that's bizarre.
That's crazy. I didn't hear that one. Where did you find that story? My God.
She did.
I knew about that.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Oh, I did.
That one
Wasn't
slipped
hard.
by me.
I swallowed a cap once, but it didn't go in my lung.
How the hell did it end up in its lung?
Yeah, like, must have been singing.
Wow.
Might have been taking that singer breath or something.
The Garden Party, Lee.
What's that?
1971.
No, you take it.
Pink Floyd, Mountain, and the Faces perform at that Garden Party concert at Crystal Palace Park in London. A small pond in front of the stage becomes an aquatic graveyard when hundreds of fish die during Pink Floyd's performance. What killed the fish, I wonder? Well, reports vary, but it is either vibrations from the band's estimated 95 decibel sound system or smoke flares set off in the water.
Or a little of both.
Yeah.
Didn't they think about that before they did it?
Back then, they would.
Yeah,
You
I
got
guess
to
not.
remember.
Well, they were also high.
That's something I was just going to say.
Oh, by the
And
way,
who
the
knows what they
band
were on
got
at
a
the
bill
time.
for the dead fish.
Yes.
Anyway, and I guess that's another bizarre story I've never heard before. Isn't this show amazing when you think about it? What's going on in 1981?
1981, former Sex Pistol John Lydon's band, or Lydon's band, Public Image Limited, performed a show at New York's Ritz Club, posing behind a video screen while the music was played from tapes. They were showered with missiles and eventually booed off stage.
That's got to be a horrible feeling.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I couldn't imagine being booed off a stage. I couldn't imagine that. That would.
Oh, I was.
That would hit you right in the heart.
Yeah.
It really would. It really would.
I've had
Now, if it
Oh
was
my God.
if it was an audience that was like way out of date or whatever, and they just booked the wrong band for the gig, I could see it. But to be just booed, it's.
I mean, look at what happened with. We've got 10 minutes yet, so
I need to wrap this
okay.
up too.
All I was going to say is that look at Justin Bieber
Wow.
and what happened, or not Bieber, sorry, at the Stones there.
Oh, Justin
Timberlake.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? He must have just
The
had
Stones
it smashed.
invited them.
Well, no, but they stood up for him. I was there. I watched it.
Oh, I know. I was on the side of the stage.
So yeah, that's just an example.
Yeah.
Broken heart.
2003,
Tattoos.
Tattoos? Okay. Get rid of these stupid fucking names.
Yeah, this is a little. I've
It
noticed
is
that with
ridiculous how these names are going. Like, come on. Who the fuck do you think you are? And are you going to have this
Yeah,
name at the end of the rest of your
really
life? I don't
funny
think so.
today.
These stupid names. Tattoo. Give me a break. Tattoo's manager, Ivan Shapalov, whatever again, is arrested.
Russian.
Yeah, is arrested for disturbing the peace after staging a video shoot in
teach you guys
Moscow's Red
everything.
Square for the duo's song "Show Me Love." Playing up the act's image as a teen lesbian lovers, Shapalov had arranged for about 200 other young girls to dress like Tattoo and kiss each other, which causes a disturbance. By the end of the year, Tattoo will abandon the ruse and admit they only acted like lovers for the sake of the scandalous publicity.
There you
And
go.
there's all kinds of photos. They're all dressed the same. There's literally 200 women
I'm
in a
sure.
group walking, and they're dressed in like the short. Almost looks like they're a private school.
I'm sure your
You know?
parents are real proud of your name change there. That's just
Anyway, Mr. Grouch over there. What am I supposed to say at the end of the show, by the way? You were supposed to say something important. I can't remember.
I did forget.
Uniting
I saw that.
community
I did forget.
worldwide.
United Community.
Uniting community worldwide.
Uniting Community Worldwide. Right?
That's
Is
it.
that it? That's all. That's all I had to remember?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easier than a phone number.
We will get this ending down to an art
No,
at
we
some
won't.
point.
This
It'll be a screw up somewhere. It'll be a screw up somewhere.
This week we're brought to you by Seabird Radio, our wonderful friends in England who carry the show on Thursdays at 6 p.m. The Top 40 Timeline Radio Show is heard on many radio stations around the world. This is the video vlog where we fart around on the show.
That's where.
And the two go hand in hand, of course. And we're here at Lee's Garage.
Yep.
And,
Opening today.
Opening, and there's Lee's drums right there. And right
See
here.
them, see them?
There you
See,
go.
see.
Yeah, stop touching me.
They're pretty bright.
And there. Okay. So thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week. And hopefully, I don't know if you guys around the world are into hockey like we are, but it's kind of winding down there.
It is for me now.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Canada Day, or Victoria Day weekend here in Canada, so all our Canadian hoes and bros out there, have a great weekend.
The Hoes and Bros. There's a new one.
Have a great week, everybody.